So now I want to take a moment to introduce the next startup to you, Byte, before they come on today. As a shameless plug, I would like to suggest that you all download the Byte app that I have on my phone to have a better understanding of the opportunity at hand. In our world today, there's strife and separation. But no matter your race, creed, religion, or location, there is one aspect of life that unites every person on our planet. And that is the need to eat. So in our interview with Byte co-founders, which I suggest you check out by subscribing to Minnotank's YouTube channel, their interview will air a little bit later next week. We learned about how the Byte co-founders came together to solve this problem of meal selection. I may be stealing a little bit of their thunder, but the best way I heard them describe Byte is if Yelp and Tinder were to have a baby, and then you were able to rate each individual dish and share instead of trying to rate an overall restaurant. So Minnotank is thrilled to have the founders of Byte on the call with us today. So I'd like to invite Peter, Tim, and David on the call right now. Guys, take it away.
Thanks so much, Ken. We might have to steal that opener from you. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Awesome. All right, let's begin. So if you could imagine with me going to Amazon.com and you see that there's only lists of item names and prices, consumers would be leaving a lot to chance to have their expectations met. Did you ever realize that this is what consumers often do at restaurants? That's why we created Byte. Yeah, so that's Byte. And my name is David Koh, one of the co-founders. And I'm happy to have here with me Tim and Peter. So Tim is actually my younger brother, and we've been childhood friends with Peter's, and together we came up with the idea of Byte. Our advisors include Bryce Gumpel, co-founder and COO of Seated, which is a reservation app which rewards diners with $15 to $40 gift cards. Jason Lee is a digital marketer with a previous clientele that included PayPal, Angel Hack, and Facebook. And we've also got Nick Petros, the VP of Marketing of Rally Point. And Rally Point is the largest online military network with over 1.5 million members. So the problem is that it takes simply too much time and effort to decide what to eat. There's a lot of different platforms that generalize reviews and invite a lot of reviews that are often long, narrative, and unhelpful. Additionally, when you look at menus, they can often be text-heavy, unorganized. And so what Byte ultimately aims to achieve is to bring the highlights to the forefront, which is the food itself. Market size today, about $800 billion was spent in the restaurant industry in 2017. And Yelp, which is one of the biggest leading go-to review platforms out there, has 192 million monthly active users. So as you can see here, the review platform for restaurants is very saturated. And also, in addition to that, you've got other services where people post pictures of dishes, but they're usually for likes or entertainment value. Where Byte separates itself from the pack is that it is a decision tool that helps people decide what they want to eat and discover new things to try. I'm going to pass it over to my brother Tim to explain the solution.
Thanks, David. So our solution is simple. As David mentioned, Byte focuses on reviewing specific dishes at restaurants instead of the entire restaurant. Therefore, Byte flips the current industry standard on its head by focusing on finding dishes. This is important because right now, what we're doing is reviewing restaurants through avenues like Yelp. But what we're really trying to do when we go to a restaurant is pick the food. And so what we're not is an entertainment app where people are mindlessly scrolling through pictures. Instead, Byte aims to be a digital community of people that are actively helping each other decide what to eat on a regular basis. Our solution has received encouragement and validation from restaurant industry leaders like Mike Evans, co-founder of Grubhub. Now we'll talk a little bit more about the app itself. This is Byte's main feed where users swipe through posts of restaurant dishes closest to them, and this is paired with relevant information like dish name, restaurant name, distance from the user, and price. And this is also accompanied with relevant ratings and reviews from consumers themselves. Next, we have the search feature. Users search specific restaurants, dishes, and other users in the area. This is great for people that prefer a visual menu over a text-heavy one. And lastly, we have the profile, where users can view all the bookmarks that they've saved for later and also see how many views and bookmarks their own posts have received. Now I'll hand it over to Peter to talk more about our metrics.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, so we launched Byte in Philadelphia 4 months ago, our live beta, and we're seeing a lot of great feedback. We have 4.9 stars on the both Play Store and App Store. Our retention is great. We're 49% of our downloads are coming back monthly. And since we launched 4 months ago, we have 138,000 swipes from all our users. So how are we going to generate revenue? So when a user is on Byte, they're looking for something to eat, and they're trying to satisfy their hunger as soon as possible. So with our partnership with Seated, users now can book reservations on our app, so they could go right to the restaurant and sit down and actually have the meal. In the future, we plan on partnering up with a third-party delivery service like Grubhub, Caviar, or Postmates to allow users, when they find a delicious dish they want to try on our platform, to order it and just have it conveniently delivered right to their front door. In the long term, we see that we're aggregating a lot of data on what consumers are spending on food and what type of food, so we could monetize on all the data that we're collecting in the future. So why now? The timing for Byte is perfect. You probably noticed a lot more people at restaurants are more comfortable taking pictures of their dish. But the problem there is it just gets lost in their camera roll. And a lot of the technology enhancements on phones are going right to the camera. So users and the masses can take a lot higher quality photos than they did a couple of years ago. More consumers are reviewing and making sure they're doing a lot more research when purchasing something online. A great example is Amazon. Amazon has tons of little reviews, and people get to post their own photos of the product themselves, and it gives them a lot better understanding of what they're getting. And that's something that we definitely want to do with Byte. We successfully raised a friends and family round of $100,000 last year, but now we just started our seed round. If you're interested about learning more about Byte, please shoot us an email or reach out. Thank you.
Yeah, Peter, Tim, David, great company, great idea. I definitely see the value for it. One piece of constructive criticism: in the short amount of time you had to pitch, your advisors are very, instrumental in your company and have a great skill set and background. I wouldn't focus on them as much. I'd rather focus on you guys. Mm-hmm. That being said, can you touch on your past experiences? It's like, you guys are the ones running the company, and if we're to invest, we're investing in you, not your advisors. Although it helps, and they are helpful. But tell us about yourself and your experience in the entrepreneurial space, please.
Yeah, sure. So I came up with the idea when I was traveling for work as a management consultant previously. So I felt the pain point of having to travel a lot and choose where to eat. So for 3 months, majority of the year, I was traveling and having to decide, all right, what restaurant should I go to in a city that I was never at before? So I felt that pain point for a long period of time, and that's where I came up with the idea. So we're more of from my understanding, we're more of the user, and really we're able to understand it a lot better because we felt that pain point for a long period of time.
And to share a little bit more about my background, I was in the B2B SaaS-based business and creating restaurant technology solutions. And so that included creating apps and loyalty solutions for restaurant franchises and working with integrations into POS systems. Where I saw an opportunity with Byte is that a lot of the restaurants that we worked with were satisfied with the point of sale solutions that they had, the website they had up and running, and constantly looking for new ways to acquire new customers and to retain the ones that they have. And there definitely seemed to be a missing solution in the market where customers can find their food and discover their food, which drives them into the restaurant.
And lastly, this is Tim again. I have an engineering degree from the University of Michigan. I spent the past year as a financial risk management consultant, but frankly, I don't have an entrepreneurial background as these two might. But Peter contacted me basically maybe a year ago, and said, what's your interest in really pursuing this? And I had a great interest in, the app itself. I thought it was a great idea, and that's why I decided to jump on board. Excellent.
Can you please touch on the adjustable market size, your cost per acquisition of a customer, and that lifetime value you'll derive from that customer, please?
Yeah, so we'd say the market size, there's about 75 million millennials in the US currently. And we really think that age of about 18 to 35, people who are just getting out of college and having disposable income and are looking for better places to eat as they grow older is a great kind of target market to address. In terms of CPI, we've just started our digital marketing campaign a few weeks ago. Before that, we were really focusing on nailing our product. And from the initial looks of it, we're very encouraged. We have our CPI below $2 using Facebook and Instagram marketing.
Yeah, and just to build on top of that, we don't want to rely too heavily on paid advertising because there is a limit to that, but we're really focusing on users sharing their review on Byte on their other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where essentially it's free marketing for us and it really reaches their network.
Okay, so I'm not in the 18 to 35 category anymore. Let's say I take a picture of my meal and then I post it on Byte. Do I receive anything in return, or am I just putting it for reasons just to have people look at my ratings?
Yeah, so something interesting we noticed about some of our top posters are that these are not users that are regular foodies, meaning like they have an Instagram foodie account where they post pictures of food on social media. But this is your regular person that's going to a restaurant every once in a while, but is taking pictures of their food and finally has a place to put it. And so, some of our top posters have been, in some ways we joke around, they're serial posters. And when reaching out to them and asking why they're doing such things, they're saying, we just like to keep track of everything that we're eating and making sure they're on top of that. And one of the, interesting things that is an incentive to keep using Byte is that you can see how many people are also saving the pictures that you posted and viewing the post as well.
Excellent. The potential relationship with Grubhub would be huge. Any developments, or where does that currently stand?
Yeah, so we realized Grubhub is a lot more established than we are. And right now we really want to make sure that with our formal proposal, we have the right metrics and what we actually can offer them. So we did have a little back and forth, but we realized it might be a little bit too premature for us. So that's why we decided to partner with Seated, who is less established than Grubhub, but still has a great network out there. So that we really want to test and make sure that we could really offer what we say we offer to Grubhub in the future.
Correct me if I'm wrong, your primary market is Philadelphia. Where do you expect to expand from there?
Yeah, so we definitely want to be very strategic on the next cities we go to. It might seem like the move would be to go right to New York, but New York is a huge market. So we want to definitely target the smaller, more foodie cities, sort of like Austin, Portland, that has a really strong restaurant scene, but isn't massive. So we're able to really put our marketing dollars and stretching them as much as possible rather than trying to take a little dent out of New York City.
I invite you guys to come to Chicago quickly. I would love to see what I eat before I order it.
Yeah.
So would I, guys. Come on over to Chicago. Okay, guys. All right. Thank you very much to the Byte team. Thank you, Brian.